Hallo, herzlich willkommen hier auf der Boot 2025. Wir sind auf der Nimbus C11 und ich habe das Vergnügen, wieder dabei zu haben hier Jonas, einen guten Freund und vor allem jemand, der genauso viel Spaß am Bootfahren hat wie ich. Wer das Video von der 495 gesehen hat, wo wir zusammen nach Korsika zum Beispiel gefahren sind oder auch als wir uns hier mit Joachim zusammen am Schiff saßen und den Award morgens ein bisschen zelebriert haben bzw. beschrieben haben, was es so besonders macht, dass dieses Schiff die 495 das gewonnen hat, aber vor allem möchte ich jetzt hier ihn auch nutzen dafür, um zu beschreiben, was die C11 so besonders macht und nicht nur eben in den Revieren, in denen ich kenne, sondern vor allem in dem Revier, wo Jonas zu Hause ist, nämlich der Scherengarten von Göteborg bis weit nach Norwegen hoch oder auch mal bis in die dänische Südsee und vor allem auch, wie dort so ein Boot genutzt wird und wo auch dieser Name Commuter eigentlich herkommt, der ja für viele vielleicht ein bisschen, warum heißt das Boot nicht 11 Coupé, sondern 11 Commuter? Und da beschreibt man so ein bisschen die Herkunft dazu. Jedoch wir jetzt zum Glück auch wieder ein bisschen Coupé-Ideen in dieses Schiff reinbekommen mit der Küche oben. So Jonas, I know you speak very well German, but you don't want to run this in German with me. But I know you understand quite well and you can speak quite well. But as we said, we will run this in English for you, not for you, also for the visitors. And yeah, so thank you for taking the time to be with me here on the board. The C11 is a boat which is like really much a boat which is very fitting into your region. You have friends having a C11, you're having like guys who are, I would say, when it comes to boating, the most experienced guys not on Earth is a very hard word, but probably in Europe, because they're coming from the commercial boating, and they're owners of big ships, and they just bought a boat, one of them, and sea tried it with us in Mallorca to test it, because you had already too bad weather conditions, or you didn't have one boat in stock. Sorry, the bad weather condition with this boat is not really the reason not to sea tried it. So tell me a little bit about the C11 in your region. And the ideas around it and what it makes so special.
I mean, we have many people who actually live and breathe out of the sea on the Swedish west coast. The west coast consists of so many islands, and there are so many people living on the island. They have the job out there, whether they're professional fishermen with big fishing vessel, or their own ship redery, or just want to commute out to the summer houses between the mainland and the fish. And it's very important for them to always have a very fast commuter. But it's also very important for them, which is very good with the new C11 that we will show you now, because they also use the boat for their holiday. So they really go out on their holiday, stay for a week out at sea. So they need to have the boat a little bit more cozy with cooking facilities that were put up now. You can take the curtain when you're sleeping in the boat and protect yourself a little bit. And of course you need good seating area on the back.
So how would you compare a customer buying a C11? Because for maybe some people to the outside, beside now having the outboard engines, which you can also, if you compare an inboard engine version of the C11 to a Coupé series, what are the key figures? What is the different buyer?
I would say the different buyer is actually, first of all, it's the speed. I would say many of these people they use the boat like the car, like the pickup truck. They need to be able to commute fast. So they use the boat both for the commercial operation and for the pleasure operation. The Coupé boat owners are mainly boaters who really are passionate about living out at sea. They can stay out at sea for weeks. They have no need for going in cruising speed 30-35 knots, which these persons often have.
I would completely agree. So the person going with a C11, he can stay for a week.
Yeah.
Or even longer. I did 2 weeks on a C11 and it was perfect, fine for me from the space. But you are more outside on the deck. You want even more secure walking, maneuvering on, because you have the bigger side doors on both sides. You have the deep walkway, so it makes the usage of the boat even more comfortable, safe. But you sacrifice space inside, as the boat also is a little bit narrower.
Yep.
Which is needed to gain this speed in a way of, because a Nimbus always needs to be economically good, in a good proportion. And if we want to run these speeds this boat can run, in the width of a 365, this would not really work out.
No.
Yeah, from the beam, especially in the front. It's not the absolute beam of the boat. It's mainly also how the front of the boat is built.
Yeah.
That would not work. So the target here is, I would say, an average, easy 10 knots higher cruising speed than we have on a coupe
On a
boat.
coupe, that's correct. And you often go open water with a boat like this, and you were into that already, Patrick, with the bow, how that is built. We often when we design a boat, we have a little bit more buoyancy in our boats. We have sharp V in the bow. We have more buoyancy in the front so that we can take the bigger open water sea waves. But we also have a big flare in the front to deflect all the spray. So it's important for you who drive boat a lot. You know how irritating it could be when you have all the spray over the boat, and this is really perfect with bad weather condition with the sea level. It deflects the spray.
So we're having here, you're standing in fact below the water now.
Yeah.
So this is like
getting my feet wet there.
yeah, so you normally should wear your bathing kit being on there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you have experienced that on the 495 with
Yes.
me together in Corsica, and realizing how nice it is to have such a platform to be able to go into and out of the water without the bathing leather, even to just
Yeah.
more or less start swimming, like going down with the staircase and then
Exactly.
being able to swim more or less from a platform under the water. Very
Yeah, yeah.
nice. And even sunbaths in the water, like more or less.
Exactly. You can sit here. You can sit with your legs dangling about, having a little cocktail or cup of morning coffee or whatever you like. But you can also raise this so you can use it as a passerelle.
To go on share. And so what
When-
this platform is activating for that boat is the possibility of stern mooring,
Exactly.
which normally with outboards is not really possible, because then you are too far away, especially when you want to lift them out of the water, which is the key for the outboards.
Yep.
And then you really are in a kind of trouble because you're too far away from the pontoon.
Yeah.
Is it all running well in the podcasting? Good,
Yeah,
very good.
good.
But you could also choose another version of the platform, which is
Yes. you can
connected to another engine setup.
Absolutely. You have also the possibility to run this boat with twin diesel engines from Volvo Penta with stern drive. And for the C11, when we deliver a boat like a commuter version, you could go, as I said, you could go long distances, but you also need long range. So the diesel version with this is very optimal to go fast, long range with low fuel consumption. In that case, you have a bigger bathing platform, not the hydraulic one though, but it's a fixed one, but it's a big one. And that is often used in cold water climates. If I talk about Stockholm archipelago, Gothenburg archipelago, the west coast, Norwegian, up in the north from US, from Maine and Seattle area, they buy a lot of inboard version. Going to warm climates like the Mediterranean, for instance, or then it's often outboard engines.
That's because of the sea growth, as you know, like
Yeah.
the Z drive with the diesel engine is always staying in the water.
Correct.
And it's a bit exposed more or less to also with sun, to sea growth, and this can have a quite heavy impact on the performance of the boat.
Yeah.
So that's why the outboards have such a success in many regions, especially in warmer climates, because you can trim them completely out of the water. When it comes to torque, I was always saying, only diesel, diesel, diesel. It's a little bit, less difference, because these engines here now, the V10s, also have a quite enormous level of torque. Still, with the Volvo Penta, you always have the dual prop. So in
Yes.
fact, you have 4 propellers in the water,
Exactly.
which gives a loads of grip. And this torque with the diesel engines produce, you can really feel when you go in bigger waves that you don't have to accelerate or reduce the speed. It just goes through. And this is, when you drive loads of petrol engines for a while, you don't remember that, and suddenly you're back on a diesel boat and you really realize how comfortable that feels when the diesel is just pushing you through the wave.
yeah.
So that's a big difference. And with fuel consumption, I would say we're easy on a nautical mile, 1 to 1.5 liters less.
Yes.
So it's also something you forget when we all these outboard boats we deliver, and it's loads of day boating, and that's all good. But as I did the trip from Mallorca from the south of France via Palamos to Mallorca, and we were pushing it also hard. So you can you realize suddenly how more fuel efficient a diesel engine is, and what that makes a difference of 1.5 liters per nautical mile in the end brings you like 60, 80 nautical miles more out of the tank, which sounds much more when you in all have 200 or nearly 300. That's a big difference.
It is.
Especially when it comes to regions where the fuel supply is not that easy. For example, in the Germany and the North Sea,
Exactly.
or also it's on the rivers and in certain regions, is the petrol supply is not that good. So this helps a lot. But let's go a little bit. Oh no, and then I think then we stop a little bit with the engine stuff. I think what is very new is what Volvo Penta is offering now with their new assistant docking. So tell us a little bit about this, please.
The assisted docking is quite unique feature actually. We like to say hard becomes easy because many people, maybe not the professional one that we're talking about before, but many customers to a boat, even though they got a big ship like the 495 or they're coming new boaters in this one. It's always tricky coming in with a big boat in a tight harbor where you have the wind affecting you, you have the current affecting you, and then assisted docking is really something to take the edge out of the stress, because it's like flying a drone. The assisted docking always keep you in position, no matter what happens with the waves and the wind. It uses the dual compass to keep the boat on track all the time. So basically, if you find yourself in a situation, oh, this is a little stressful, just release everything and the boat will stay there. And then you can give it micro commands in the side or in the front. You can always twist it, but it always remains in the course you set, or like going on track, sideways or front, or turning around its own shaft. So this is really something that takes the stress out of.
And we're talking about in regions of 20 centimeters or 30 centimeters of hovering. This is what Volvo Penta is naming. So it's not like stand still like 1 centimeter, but at sea, 20 centimeters is very little. So this is nearly no movement.
But if you come in alone, it's a tough day out at sea. You come in alone. I place the boat right like 1 meter from the mooring, often sideways in Sweden. Then I go out very relaxed, put the fenders in, I'll hang the fenders out, do the moorings, prepare everything. Then I can easily do a little side push towards the mooring and then press the side push button to maintain the boat pushed into the mooring. While I jump ashore, do the mooring, very easy, no stress, and then go back to the boat and shut off the engine.
And I think Volvo Penta is the only one having this at the moment. Probably other suppliers will follow with something similar, but Volvo Penta is the only one offering that. They had that already with IPS for quite some while.
For sure.
But now with the DPI, Z-Drive, Aqua Drive, they are the only ones in the market at the moment. And we combined, and you have them here on the stand.
Yeah, we had a big fortune of being in the launch campaign, the worldwide launch campaign with that. So.
Good, let's go on board, because now we've been talking a lot. So as I said, you try to get a little bit more coupé feeling in this boat. So there were some updates done. So we have this, let's say this is a huge hatch where normally the engines are below, and you increased this size a little bit so we can get more coupé feeling aft deck here. We have the sunshade up here, and we have this bench now, which is a bit bigger than before, but we can also flip it. Sorry, I need to do it together, it's easier. We can flip it to also even sit the other way around when you consider
when your friends are swimming,
friends
or
are swimming,
kids are swimming.
yes, you just sit here and you can be facing backwards.
Exactly.
And then
you can also put on a dual table here. So you can move that table out to the side and put 2 tables side to side.
And then you can sit also here on the side. So it's not it's not the aft deck of a coupe boat, but it's still a very protected area here in the back.
It is indeed.
Comparable to the front deck, where you can also use one of the tables to install it there.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about this thing here, because it's something, again, a little bit more out of your world than out of my world.
This is the second steering station. Also for people who uses the boat on the commuting version, they like to be able, if they go out fishing, if they for some reason need to control the boat in tight areas and keep control over the stern, they like to use this rear steering station. And no matter if you go Mercury with the joystick or if you go Penta, it looks pretty much the same, and the functionality is of course the same.
Yeah,
So
the Mercuries, they have quite a big option when it comes to fishing modes.
Yes.
Trolling modes and so on, which you can all operate, because you have the small plotter here, so you can have the big fish finder you have in the front will also be shown here if you have it installed, but you can also go in the menu of the Mercury system and have, as I said, autopilot function, but also trolling modes are available to be chosen over the plotter there.
Yeah, basically whatever you do back here, you can do, or whatever you do in the front, you can do here on the back steering position. You don't have the access to the big screens, but you can do everything.
Many of also the other brand we sell, many other boats don't have the back door, many of these commuters. So I think this is very important to mention, because it is, yeah, for sure it takes some room inside away. It was, I think, on this boat in the development also a big discussion.
Yeah.
Do we need this door or not?
Exactly.
I think it's very good to have it, because it gives the boat much more. You have just from ventilation point of view, but also from moving around on the boat, this extra door is something which I'm happy that it's there.
Exactly. I mean, it really takes also the flexibility to be able to walk around. And sitting in a boat with a locked off door, you're always need to use the side doors, and just be able to run out here in the back or get the air in on a hot day or everything. It just makes a big difference.
Vanessa, kannst du mal da nach vorne gehen am Gangboard? So what is huge is the area, if you take the outboards, otherwise you would not have them, is that area here. I would say you could also put a crew cabin nearly in there.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
a big sleeping bag.
So this is a amazing big room, again, where normally the two D4s would be installed, and this could be utilized now for loads of water toys, for storage of for longer trips, for diving stuff. You could be installing there stand-up paddling boards, which you don't want to have on the roof, flight board, whatever you want to take, or even in your world again, as commuting, you maybe put some bikes in there.
For sure.
Everybody dreams about having the bikes on the roof racks. We both know they don't gonna last very long with salt water
Exactly.
on the roof racks. They're better placed down here if you want to use them when you arrive.
But that is the fact. Just the island hopping that we can do back on the west coast or on the east coast for that matter. It's perfect.
So
to
two
always
bikes
have a
in
couple of
there,
bikes
super
in there,
easy.
and
I think I'm going to do that in Mallorca with Tom. We talked about putting two race bikes in here and heading over to Ibiza, because we love the race biking in the Balearics, but we have never been on Ibiza. We're planning to do that for the spring.
If you need a captain, Patrick, I can take you. And I can prepare the food for you when you... Oh, sorry.
Okay. Good, then we have, then a small thing, I said it in the other video already, but this is quite a nice idea. So we have a big storage, and you increased it because we have enough height. So the fenders are like very Nimbus typical. Fenders always have a dedicated place to be stored, very important. So in fact, the classic fender boxes on the side are still be used for other like ropes and other cleaning stuff and so on. Everywhere typical Nimbus, you have handrails where you can hold on. Very, very important. So let's go in the inside, because there's quite something new here on the port side. I sit down. This is better even.
Yeah, that's perfect. So basically, this is the new interior for model year 25, where we would actually lift up the galley. We made a complete new arrangement here, so we can easily cook food, do the dish. You can have it as a bench for just when the morning food, like the bread and butter and egg and everything. You don't have to have it on the table. You can have it perfectly served here. And of course, you have a lot of extra workspace that you can easily fold out. Same on the other side. You have extra workspace there.
I just open it there. And storage here for the lid.
Yeah. all these little smart things that.
Make life so much easier on board.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then what I really like, because that was always a little bit tricky, we have a proper fridge here,
Yes.
an extra one downstairs, but you want definitely one big fridge up here,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
we have now in this setup. And then we have this typical Nimbus, really nice German Hettich kitchen manufacturer, full full Auszugsschublade in German. I don't even name that in English. Full going out
I know.
drawer with soft closing and a proper garbage can here.
Yeah.
So that I missed really on that boat, being out with this in Corsica.
And,
So
also, and also what I said earlier with the curtains, it's very easy that you can close off everything, because this is a boat that you stay out on. So you can really use this to block off everything in the boat. When you're spending the night in a marina or something and you want to come up in the morning, maybe in your night dress or whatever you have.
Yeah,
so you're a little bit more private.
Even more private, and you can also rebuild this area here as you want to be sitting in the evening and having
Yes.
just reading a book and so on, and don't want to sit at the table.
Can make
What
it
I
an
wanted,
extra bed.
yes, extra bed or a couch feeling. Tell me a little bit about this naming you gave the interior. So what is the legacy inside of the Nimbus product?
Yeah, the Legacy Edition is the name of this new interior here, and the name actually comes from the very start of the VTC range when we launched that. Because when we launched the complete 8-meter series, 9-meter series, and 11-meter series, that was built completely up on our complete knowledge throughout 1968 with all the boats.
So it was a combination of the different worlds.
Yeah,
Also like
I mean,
1/3 of the DC, 1/3 of the R series Nova,
Yeah.
and 1/3 was developed new. More or less, it was a
Yeah,
mixture
yeah,
out of many.
Exactly, and the
many
classic,
ideas.
classic Nova
Yes,
range
yes,
and
yes.
the R series. So we took the best of everything that we have created through the years and put a lot of design elements in this. And we named this launch campaign. It was our legacy, and this is our legacy. And now we're making, as a tribute to that, we're making this new interior here with that we call the Legacy Edition.
What I was asked before, which I didn't 100% know really, is the question. So all these leather parts and so on, this is all legacy. What is like the curtains are standard, or we just shown? It's not connected to the legacy.
No,
edition.
the curtains are standard.
So
Absolutely.
the cushion materials in this two color design and the leather here on the handrails.
Leather on the handrails, the
this is
dashboard.
the dashboard. This is legacy.
the match steering wheel.
The
So
carpet
that's
is standard.
Carpet is standard, but
Yeah.
it's a different color with the Legacy.
Okay, yes.
But otherwise, the carpet is standard, yes, for sure.
Good.
So
Then we have, just to say, the huge glass. So this is coupe style again. We have huge glass roofs, hatches, and we also have.
and these meets in the middle.
Yes, we can
For
close
sure,
that
same on
completely
both.
in both sides. And then we have, which is, a boat is even not sellable anymore with this, with the roof racks
Yeah.
to bring stand-up paddling boards and so on
Exactly.
on the top. But what I really like is also all these details. Like for example, you have also here again a handrail to
Yeah.
hold on. You have a socket here to charge and then also hooks to hang stuff here. So there's loads of detail, which is I think something really Nimbus is the difference to many other brands on the market, that you do this 5% more, which for the customer in the end gives him 20% more easily.
Yeah.
Otherwise he wouldn't need to do all these ideas himself, which it takes him 2 years to find these places and so on, where a hook should be and how that should be
Exactly.
done. And this is a huge difference, I think, in a Nimbus.
This is I had a discussion with one of the customers who I know will be driving frequently back and forward to Sweden and Denmark, and sea out there can be quite rough. And this is, how fast do you often go while you go there? That was my question. What do you mean? We always go full speed. And imagine full speed. Of course, if but still, they do that. They push the boat to the limit, and things are moving in here. And you need to be able, because when they're going to Denmark, they go with a crew for their big ships. So they're like often 6 people in here, and people need to be able to hold on. And also the same with the seating. They are suspended. So when you drive even in very rough conditions, it's so suspended, so it's extremely comfortable. You get footrest everywhere.
They're very nice. You have a
so you
footrest to the front and also a footrest to sit on the back. I just go on there. So that's really nice.
So we can adjust the seats, of course, lengthwise, but height-wise, and also for a heavy person like me, I can adjust the suspension as well. So
yeah, the view, I think, is to be pointed out. It's a typical commuter view. We have the very small A-frame. The B-frame is nearly at the driver or co-driver area, so that gives us a very free view. And then we have the wipers even on the side. The front one everybody knows, but they're hidden on the top. And we're having 2 on the side and 3 in the front, all with window wash over fresh water.
Yeah.
And we have the defroster on the windows, which is supplied on an outboard boat by an extra heater, which you need to order together with the diesel heater. Or if you have an inboard boat, then it's automatically coming from the engines.
One thing that is worth mentioning is actually the black panels in the roof. They are acoustic panels to take down any sound or anything. So the boat is very quiet while driving the boat, and we have it in the front and in the back. And it's
and the boat is built. This is not a secret. It's built in Poland in one of the most modern shipyards I've ever been in. I would say the most modern shipyard I've ever been in. And the boat is also built nowadays in vacuum infusion.
Fully vacuum infused,
yes.
Correct.
Sorry, I was 95% sure. That's why I was a little bit questioning that.
But it is.
So it's when it comes to build technique, build quality, I would say it's not. I would say I know it is fully up to the level what your guys are doing in Mariestad when they're building a 305, 365, 405, or now the 495. So all this long knowledge of glass fiber production and as well assembly has been, I think, very well transferred into the production in Poland. I would say there's even stuff to learn from them there, which can be then also being transferred into the Mariestad production. I think this is quite good to see how that works so well.
Absolutely. But in the end, the boat is designed and engineered by Nimbus, and it's built on the specification of Nimbus. So we know exactly what goes in.
When you choose a Volvo Penta inboard engine, I really like that you did this because it was before it stayed with Simrad. Even though I love Simrad, I'm fully with this brand. But then it goes to be Garmin because the integration. So what Simrad is for Mercury, which is the preferred, Simrad is even owned by Brunswick, which is Mercury, the same company. So they are fully integrated, but the integration of Volvo Penta towards Simrad worked, but it was not so perfect when it comes to alarms and so on. So that's why I think it was very wise to choose that if you order a Volvo Penta inboard engine, you will have the double screens single screen of Garmin, which can they call it it's Volvo Penta screen, but the hardware is from Garmin, and then you can choose as with a Simrad an extra screen as an option, which is then a double glass bridge setup with two 12-inch screens.
Yeah, I mean that's right. The Volvo Penta glass cockpit system is really made to match the engine system, so that it works very well with a complete system, with all the functionality, like the assisted docking, like the joystick.
I would say, haben wir irgendwelche Fragen? So I think we go downstairs first, and then we're going to the front.
Yep.
So this area, which was before named to be the kitchen, is lucky why it stayed, because this is a very nice, you can really put your clothes also on top. I have been using that myself a lot, and then you have also quite big storage in here, like drawers, as well as this locker here. You have storage here behind, also very well done. And then you have like a quite reasonable sized front bed. Everything is in one room, which I quite like, because otherwise it would be too cramped. You have a curtain which you can close up here, but the boat is mainly used, I would say, from 2 people, like a couple plus kids. As I think it's not a boat from the sleeping setup where 4 grown-ups would stay 1 week on board. No. It could be done for 1 night or 2 nights, a weekend, and then that's such good friends where it should be enough to have 1 door in between each other, which is to the guest cabin. And yeah, if somebody goes in the night to the toilet, then yeah, this is quite close. But if you would put a door in here, you can really see here in the front the difference to a coupe boat, because here the volume is missing. And this is due to the aim of having completely different driving experience when it comes to performance.
Exactly.
And if you would not do that, what is done here in the front, then it would be performance only generated by power. You would need two D6 engines to get the same speed. You would use double the fuel, and the boat would still not run well. So I think this is the wise decision. We have a cupboard here on the starboard side, so even more storage. And what I really like lying here in bed is the big windows to both sides, which is also now on the 495. We have a hatch here in the front as a emergency exit, also to bring stuff on board, store there, and two windows for ventilation. Everywhere we have reading lights with USB-C and loads of storage also on the side there. Maybe you or I go on the toilet, and then just showing here. So this toilet is probably the world's most built toilet module. It was developed on the Nimbus 305 Coupe, which is built up to now like 350 times. And then probably VTC11, T11, C11 and W11, another, Jonas, how many together? 600?
Nearly 600.
Yeah,
and
600.
actually the 305 is nearly 450 now.
So we are, this toilet module was built over 1,000 times.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's quite nice. So I think it's quite a developed one, quite good. So we have the separated shower wall here. Toilet is covered by a lid. So if you shower in here, you don't make it all wet. And then we have a sink for sure there with the Black Corian. So this is, as I said, a system which has been proven itself very, very well. And then we have another fridge down here, we should not forget, which we were using mainly for the food, and the upper one you can use now for drinks. I think this is a very good setup. And then we have this cabin I've been talking of before, which is suitable for two, I would say one grown up, a couple which likes itself very much, or two kids. But this is a compromise which has been taken, I think, in the wise decision. If we would have, or Joachim would have sacrificed or made this room just give it the idea, 20 or 30 centimeters more headroom, this would destroy the whole idea behind the boat, because center of gravity is here very important. And then we would have a step at the helm where you would need to get up. So there would be an obstacle, a danger of a step in the main area of the boat to use, the helm and the salon. There's where the focus is. There we won't want to have a step from the sidewalk into the salon or even inside of the salon. So it needed to be decided, and I think they did the right decision. Headroom is not the focus. We have the last 30 centimeters here of the bed where you have the full headroom. And yeah, if you're claustrophobic, you should not sleep in here. We have proper ventilation. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but you also, please mention that, Patrick, you have a very good access to the technical room down here.
Yeah, very important. Sorry, very true. So this is for sure also on such a boat, and it's not only a technical room, it's again such a big room that there nearly could be another cabin in there. So this technical room is also from our side used to install air conditioning, lithium batteries and so on. So this is really a room where you can also do retrofit installation or Nimbus original installations where they have really good access. And this is in the end very important if you have a boat, that you have the possibility, or the technician who support you with maintaining your boat, they have good access to all the installations, because only then they can do their job well. And this is very often on boats taken not into that serious in the design. So if a technical support cannot access the installed items that well, then you can also not maintain the boat well, which in the end you as a customer are going to suffer. This here, so
full size.
Yeah, so this is very important for like somebody like filming us here. She's getting red head. It's like somebody going off board sees herself full in the mirror, including the shoes. So everybody coming off a boat should be still very well dressed when it's going into a nice restaurant for some nice dinner.
Patrick,
Yes?
if you take that big door there on that side,
Yes.
I take the other one on this side, and we meet on the front deck.
No, wait, I want to show, no, wait, no, can you go next to me here?
I can go next to you.
So this is, I think, very important.
Yeah.
How big, so we can stand both nearly, we can next to each other in that door, and that's how you see how big that is. Yeah. So this is, I think, very good. And then we do what we said. I go past the over there, and then we meet in the front. And how safe we can walk on this side deck. This is like the main key of a center. It's not a center console boat, but it's a boat with two sidewalks, which everything is symmetric.
Yeah.
As you more or less utilize the asymmetric design more than anybody else. But here on such a boat, you decided still to go symmetric because, again, it's not the focus to get space inside. It's the focus to have the functionality on the top of all the items the boat should deliver to an owner.
Exactly.
Still, it's like in the past, there was no commuters or cabin boats even having sunbeds.
No.
This is like there since, let's say 5-6 years, and here we have really proper sunbed on the front, even in 2 levels. I really like this place here, where you can put your neck in here, you can push your body a little bit down, so you can even going through waves really relax here. I like it more down here than even lying here on top while the boat is driving. And again, you have a table here.
My favorite spot
is
here,
here,
leaning against the railing.
Yes, yeah. And then you have a table here, optional. We also did at some point some cushions here extra, where then you can really create another seating area here, which has the advantage of the back one is you're sheltered by the wind. The advantage of this one here is you're exposed to the wind.
Yeah, for sure.
Which then helps you in a very hot climate like the Mediterranean, together with the sunshade here, which is enormous big with the 4 carbon poles. And you have then this place front here exposed by the wind, which is cooling you down and giving you a much better feeling on board.
May I talk a little bit about this area
Yes,
here?
absolutely.
Because this is a very typical Nimbus thing. We think it's very important that it should always be very easy and safe to enter the boat. So we try to keep all the surfaces clean. You get anti-skid here for sure. What you see, the fittings there is also very typical Nordic, because you can have a bow ladder, because we enter many times the mountains where we put the anchor in the back and we enter the anchor so we can easily walk off. But also we use the front hatch to hide the front anchor winch, which is in many boats is lying on top of there. So you can easily stumble on that one. But here you can easily go ashore. You can dive from there if you're at anchor. So the functionality is very important for us.
And then you have a big rubber list all the way going around, and the anchor is a little bit standing out, but very, very little. As many other boats, the anchor is standing out, let's say, for minimum half a meter, which is really an obstacle and a risk for other boats, and in the end also for you yourself. So this is really well done. And what I really like is the anti-skid goes also all the way the back. So we have more or less a parallel higher sidewalk. So where it's easy for me also to get a bit higher, to maybe step over to another boat or a pier, which is a bit higher. The same we have on the back on the fender boxes. So anti-skid is here on the top, which I think is really, really nice and very safe. This one we can open. We've been discussing this before. So where we can load some stuff on board or having a proper ventilation. Cleats, always important at Nimbus, big, so you can really utilize them in like using a proper rope. Good. Then on the roof, we said that already. We have the stand-up, the roof racks. This is
and the solar
also,
panels.
and the solar panels. This is also something we have now more or less on every cabin boat. Good. I think we are most likely through. We're having different hull colors we can choose here, which gives this boat is now in a grayish color, wrapped, which gives the boat also a little bit more like longer look. I really like that as well. We have sold that color several times.
And it also gives the boat a little personality.
Yes, absolutely. And we have on the next boat, can I also choose this color on the C11? Would be a little bit loud.
We did a little bit of a trick there with our R&D department because they love the color.
But it's not
also,
fitting to a C11 so much.
maybe not to C11, but we will look into that. The plan is to launch that boat and take some photos on and see how it. We are quite convinced that it looks great in the water.
I agree.
And then we will see. Yeah. But this is more like a showstopper here right now.
Good. Now, thank you for your time. I wish all your friends with C11 from this famous island Dünnsee a great time with their C11, and I hope I can at some point also use a C11 in your environment, as we just said in the back. So you're next coming down. It's already booked, I heard, then to Mallorca to be our skipper, to go to Ibiza to do some biking.
My pleasure, Patrick. You know it.
Thank you very much for your time and.
Again, my pleasure.
Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Auch hier auf der C11 mit Jonas Göthberg, einer der erfahrensten Bootsfahrer, die ich kenne, und einem Urgestein innerhalb von Nimbus, einem guten Freund, der seine Ideen oder seine Eindrücke, seine Erfahrungen zur C11 von seinen Kunden mit in das Gespräch reingebracht hat. Vielen Dank dafür und vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal.
Und vielen Dank von mir auch.
Danke, Jonas.
Danke.